part two. I want to show you first on the mannequin how to do your scalp analysis. Okay, so I've got my doll draped already, and before I wet her down, I'm going to do the scalp analysis, and I'm going to do that by sectioning her off just a little by little. You can even use your fingers to do that, to just examine the growth patterns of the hair. And looking back here, and what you're looking for on a person is one side heavier than the other? Does she have problems with her scalp? Are there growth patterns that you need to watch out for, like calyx, whorls, and other things? Any bald spots, any scars? Okay, because you want to be able to plan for that as you do your haircut and not just go through like she's got a mannequin head. Okay, so you're demonstrating your ability to analyze the scalp. Okay, we get down all down in here, and we check out the nape area, and we check out the back of the head back here, and then moving over to the other side, just making sure that you have analyzed the entire scalp. It should only take you about 30 seconds to do that. Now I'm going to take her off of here, and this doll will be undraped, but when you go to boards, she is draped because it's the same doll. Okay, this is just for ease of creating a video for you. You're going to wet the doll before you section, and she was wet when I sectioned her, but she's no longer wet, so I'm going to go ahead and wet her down. I'll probably wet the doll as I cut. Let's get this started here. When you are wetting your doll down, on spritzing her down, if you create a puddle on the floor, that, like you can see here, I've created a puddle, you would have to stop at that point, get yourself a towel or a paper towel from out of your drawer, clean that up, throw those towels away, and then move on. Okay? I wanted to demonstrate because so many people come into the class not knowing how to properly use a razor and how to properly palm the razor. I always suggest cutting your perimeter with a razor, because then you're done. And it gives you a nice diffused guideline, so you're not held to an absolute when you when they cross-check it, okay? Because the scissors are going to cut a blunt line, the razor is going to cut a diffused line. So in order to do that, I'm going to cover her up. There she is. Okay. I'm using right here, this is a feather razor, okay? That's the brand name of the razor. It's easy to hold, it's lightweight. You can put your finger in the tang, you don't necessarily have to, okay? I find it more difficult to palm when I've got my finger stuck inside of it, okay? But it does help to hold it steadier, so that if I put my finger in there, you can see that, okay? When you cut with the razor, it is so simple. As long as you've got a fresh razor in, you want to determine how long you want to cut your perimeter guideline to before you make your first cut. So if I want to cut it to, let's see, this doesn't have numbers on it. I'm going to switch to my regular all-purpose, but you won't be able to see my hair very easily there. This hair is exactly 7 inches long right here. So I need to cut off at least 1 inch. That would be the hair that's in between my fingers with a little bit left over. So I'm going to come right here, cutting my flat first, and I'm going to leave 1 inch in there, and I'm going to place my razor at a 45-degree angle to the hair and just go thwack. And you see how easily that comes off? Okay? And continue on around to the rest of my nape and let my guide drop and thwack. Okay? It's only a slight little thwack, just like that. You hold it at a 45-degree angle to the hair. 45-degree angle to the hair, and then thwack. Just that. A little scooping motion, and the hair comes right off. So that's how you would use your razor. So I'm going to demonstrate my flats and angles technique, okay? Here we go. Right in here, there's another way of cutting with the razor, and that's using your thumb. You see how this is kind of uneven in there? Can y'all see that? Okay, so I want to clean that up a little bit. So I'm going to grab that hair underneath with my thumb, place the razor on it, and just yank it right off. Just like that. Okay? Let me move over this way, Miss Larry, to my right. Come over here. I can see, now this way I can see my guide, and I can go like that and cut that off. Alternately, I can go like this, wait till my guide drops, and then cut. Okay? When you are sectioning, now moving the doll around to here, you see how I've got my razor, it's facing away from the doll? That is called palming the razor. I'm going to take this hair here. This hair here I'm not going to cut. That's an angle. I'm going to cut all my flats first. And this hair here is part of both, actually. This is part of your flat, and it's also part of your angle. If this hair here is in your way, just swoop it out of your way for a moment, okay? And now, as I'm combing this hair to get it smooth and straight, now I can see that this hair is much longer than 7 inches, okay? So I'm not just cutting off an inch here, because this is a evenly layered haircut. I'm going to come down to the end of the comb here and stop right there with my fingers, and don't let my fingers slide any further down, and holding that hair straight down and thwack. Now I can come to the front. The fringe area is just this area here. Making sure that my razor is facing away so I don't accidentally cut hair I don't want to cut, like right here. Now this I have to cut into 2 pieces because this is where this hair lives. You always want to cut hair where it lives. Whether it's a mannequin or a person, cut it where it lives. There's my 7 inches. So you see how much longer the hair is in the front of the head. It helps if you pre-cut your mannequin before you go to boards, taking off some of this extra length here. There's that. And I'm going to loosen this up a little bit because you see how it's sewn in? It's sewn in going backwards. That's kind of like a cowlick in the front of the head. So to make sure that this hair doesn't pop up 1 inch shorter than I want it, I don't hold it down really, really tight. I hold it kind of loosely, right where it lives. Now that I have my fingers in the right position, I can put tension on it. And I can cut. And then I come over to this side here. Making sure, again, that my razor is pointed away from the head. I take the rest of that fringe area, marry it up with what I see there, and I can either cut that this way or I can cut it this way. Okay? You will not cut yourself with a guarded razor. As you can see, I can go right along there. I'm not going to cut myself. You will not cut yourself either. Okay? No reason to be afraid of the razor. So I come over here to my last flat. Here. the other way. Here we go. Okay, and I'm going to take this hair here out of the way. And then just work with this hair here. Get these tangles out. Here I am working. You see I'm just above the ear there. Okay. You see there where I'm at here? I go here and determine my length again. Okay, right to there. Hold that hair and I'm going to cut. Reposition, because I couldn't get that entire thing. Reposition, and there. Okay, cross check, boom. Take that little piece off. There we go. Now all I have to do is cut my angles. Now I can stay right here or I can go here. I think I'll just go here. You learned in Mr. Larry's class to watch your finger angle and your hand angle. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. You have to watch your finger angle and your hand angle here. This is the angle. Okay? So you want to hold this hair just like so. Make sure that your finger angle is matching what's here. There it is, and I can cut. Okay, and make sure that my finger angle is matching the angle that is growing out of the head. And here, now at this point, I can see the guide from my flat right there. So now I know all I have to do is make all that blend together. There it is, and it blends in together. There we go. See how that just all blends in. Whatever's a little bit long, you just take it right off, like so. And the same behind the head. Check out this angle. It's just a tad bit different. This was like so. This is more like that. You see that angle? You have to match that hairline angle, match your finger angle to that hairline angle. You see how I'm holding that hair? There it is. Right there is where it grows. And now I can take some of my nape area guideline and blend that piece into that and that. You see my two guidelines there on either side? So I just go in and take that off, and there we go. I've got a nice diffused line on my two angles there, okay? Here we go.
Let's get into the light.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, everybody.
Come to the light. Yes, come to the light. How's this, Mr.
There,
Larry?
perfect.
Okay. So, again, matching my finger angle. There we go. There. And it looks like I missed a piece here. There we go. There it is. And then finally, the front of the head. Yes, let's get that up there where we can clearly see. And again, there's my angle. If I place my fingers there, it makes it, it gives me a nice visual to know that I'm holding that hair at the right angle. Okay, and I'm gonna do it this way because it's just easier on this side of the head. Here we go. There's my fringe guide there, so I can go like that and come down, take off all this excess length here. And now I can make those 2 points blend. There we go. And that should be complete. Oh, there's a piece there. There we go, there. See how easy it is? You just pull out that one hair and just go whack. And it comes right off. Razor is very, very easy. It really is. There's no reason to be afraid of it. And I hope that none of you are afraid of it. And if you are afraid of it, just get in there and use it. You know, cut up a few mannequins until you get comfortable with it, okay? So, at this point, I'm going to set down my razor and pick up my shears, okay? This is called palming your shears. Just holding it like so. So, if you are holding them like this, okay?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go.
Okay? All you have to do is take your thumb out of the thumb hole and close your hand over top when you go to take a subsection or comb the hair or whatever. As long as your scissors remain closed. Oh, there we go. As you're combing the hair, if these are open and your thumb is in that hole, like so, when you're combing, and that remains open, you can accidentally cut hair that you don't mean to cut. So, they want to see you with that palm closed over, thumb on top. Okay? Now, this is where I talk about the 1-inch subsection. That was a little hard to see on that diagram. Let's see if she's not knotted. So, there we go. Yes, I know I ignored that clip that fell on the floor. I want to demonstrate the haircut, not demonstrate all the sanitation and safety that you know you need to use. You already know that. Now, I talked about this area here before. Let me get this a little bit more wet. There we go. Now, what you want to do is divide that into thirds. 1, 2, 3, just like so. Okay? And took some of that one. There we go. So, if her head is straight up and down, you will be able to determine what is 90 degrees from its point of origin just by putting the edge of your comb on that area. You want to hold your subsection in the center of this 1/3 piece, okay? Right in there. So you want to hold it not over here, not over there, right in the center, like so. So there is 90 degrees, exactly. I let my perimeter drop and I cut. Now I'm going to take a little piece of what I just cut, bring it over to my next third, and I'm going to take a step to the right and stand directly behind this third. I need that other fine teeth there. Get that smooth. There we go. And I'm going to hold that at
No,
the...
just a second. See, she's not over directing that from the section of the head. It's coming
Yes.
straight out, right where it lives.
Exactly. And then I'm going to cut. A note about cutting, whether you're cutting down or you're cutting up, whether you're cutting palm to palm, or cutting overhand like so, or cutting underhand, it really doesn't matter. They're not going to care about that. They're not analyzing that. So don't get yourself overly concerned about your hand angle and all of that. Finger angle, yes, okay? But whether or not you're cutting palm to palm, or overhand or underhand really makes no difference to them. Just are you doing it safely? And you see I'm palming my shears again as I comb my next subsection. I take another step to the right so I am directly behind this. Don't make the mistake of standing here and thinking that you can find your center by standing. You see where I'm at? Look at this position I'm in. like that. Okay? Look at how my hand is. Wow. Okay? So you want to come this way. Make sure that you have taken that step and you are positioned directly behind that hair, holding it down at a 45-degree angle, and then cut. And then you would come over to the other side. Don't even cross-check that just yet. Take your next 1 inch down, or 1 inch up. 1 inch up. Go up 1 inch on the head, bring that hair down. It might need to be re-wet. You want to keep your hair evenly wet when you are cutting. Something that I didn't mention about razor cutting is that that hair has to be extremely wet when you cut. There she is. Okay. So we take this third, or this 1 inch section, and we're going to divide it into thirds. There we go. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. And now I can take some of the hair from over here, not quite that much, of my previously cut hair, and I've got my bottom guide. That way I am using my traveling guide. And I hold it the proper angle. I can cut it this way, I can cut it that way, cut it this way, whichever way you want to do it, as long as you are holding it in the center of that 1/3 subsection here, there, okay? Move over to my next third, and I take a step to the left. It's like a dance. Step to the left and cut. And here, and I go step to the left and making sure I'm in the center and cut. Okay? Now, this is very important. I talked about cross-checking. I want you to just go here, hold that hair out, and make sure that you don't have any stray hairs in there jumping out at you, and cross-check it and cut it even. You might be rolling down to there. Staying on the same side, I'm going to drop another 1 inch of hair. Now, you see my angle down here was like so. Okay, it was down here. Now, it's here is 90 degrees. You see the difference? From here to there. Because now I'm in about the mid-occipital area. That hair comes almost straight out from the head, but not quite. So now, again, I'm going to divide into my thirds. They don't have to be exact, just divide it into thirds. And now I've got my previously cut section on the bottom, which is my traveling guide. You see that there? There's my previously cut section. So I'm going to hold it out at my angle. I'm going to double check my angle by putting that comb right there. Making sure that I'm at 90 degrees. I usually let my guide drop. Sometimes I cut in, sometimes I let the guide drop. Whatever floats your boat, I suppose. And again, making sure that I'm in the center of that subsection, that little third there. I can cut in there, or I can let the guide drop. There, see? Now there, I see the guide, and I can cut. Okay? And there we go. This is where, make sure, there we go. See why I like to let the guide drop when I cut the other way. Now it's all blended. Now that I'm done with that, I'm going to come over to the other side of it. Drop another 1 inch section. There. And divide into thirds, like I did before. Holding in the center of that third. Here we go. Let my guide drop, and I can cut. As soon as I see my bottom guide dropping out from my hands, I have all kinds of wacky ways of holding my hands. I'm not very uniform. See, there's the guide dropping there. Making sure that my finger angle is right. Didn't like the way I was holding that. There we go. Now I can see my guide. And now this one, I took another step to the right, and I'm going to hold this in the center of that subsection. And there we go. Okay. There and there we go. And just do that. Here's the center. There we go. Now we know it all marries up. Okay? Going to work your way up the head in that fashion. I'm not going to be cutting this entire haircut for you. Okay? I want to move on to this area here where it starts getting a little bit, this section isn't quite as wide. Where is that? Ah, there we go. Right here. Right about here. So you'll work your way up, maybe 1, 2, about three more of those 1-inch subsections. Then you come into this area, the crown area there. See, here's your crown right there. This area is, don't divide it into thirds. You know, why do that? You can divide that into half. There it goes there. And then divide this one in half. Okay? And then you're going to, again, holding it at about 90 degrees. If you want to make this hair a little bit longer in this area, you can start holding it here. If you want the top to be longer in your layered haircut, then you can start dropping your angle just a bit, just to make it easier on you. See, like, if I cut all the way up, that would be there, that would be cut off, and then there, there, and there, okay? If I want to make that longer, I can drop my hand a bit, okay? And then cut here, all right? Then you'll take the rest of your crown, divide that into half, and again, you're going to make sure that you are cutting in the center of your little subsection there. And I can not have to do it way up here, but I can go here. And then just marry it up with a subsection below, and then cut where I want to cut. Following your guide at all times. And then you would step over to this part, and here you're a little bit further along on the head. So you're gonna have to stand like so, and then find your angle where you want to bring that hair to. Make sure that it blends with the previous section. It doesn't have to be uniformly layered. So you've got some options here. When you come to the side of the head, this area I will show you. There it is. I wondered where all my clips went. Just gonna put this back here a minute. I'm going to drop down 1 inch of hair, clip that back up, and then this area here, yeah, maybe I should have worked up a little bit more. Here we go. Just take that off. Okay, this is your previously cut, the rear of the head. Okay, so here's your 1 inch. You're going to divide that in half, and then marry it up with the back of the head. See, there's my guide, and this is my angle right here, okay? This is where the hair lives, right there, is 90 degrees. and I find my guide. Where did my guide go? There it is. See it in there? Ta-da. Find my guide, make sure that my finger angle is correct, and that I'm holding it in the center of that subsection. There's my guide. All you have to do is fold the hair over and you can see the guide. Okay? And then I can cut there. And then I'll take my previously cut hair from that section and my next section right here in front of the ear. Now here is my perimeter guide, right? You see the perimeter guide right there? This is part of my section. There. And then here, from the rear of the head. You see how they're even? So it all marries together. All you need to do is pick that up, find your guide, fold that hair over. I see I'm holding it wrong. Here we go. Fold your hair over so you can see where your guide is, or you can fold it over this way. Okay, and then cut. Then make it blend. I want to show one area here when I talked about bending your angle. You're going to work your way up the head in that same fashion that I showed before. I'd like to show you this area here. We were cutting this hair to about 6 inches, right? But we were going to leave it a little bit longer in the crown. So let's find where that is. This poor doll's going to need a corrective cut when I'm done. Down to there, and there, to there. I want to leave that hair a little bit longer in the top. Okay, so here we are in the top. My crown is about that long. Okay, there we go. When I take this last section here, I want to make sure that all this blends. You see how there's like, that's longer, then it's shorter, and then this hair hasn't been cut yet. So let's just get that hair out of there for a minute. One of the reasons why it is shorter in there, see that? That is shorter than that I had cut right over here. To make it blend, all I've got to do is change the angle of my fingers to make it all blend in. You see that there? All I got to do is change the angle of my fingers and it'll all blend. Some of this hair, remember I didn't cut the entire side, so just bear with me here as I find that point. There we go. See how that's a little crooked, huh? Okay, so all you have to do is make it blend. Now it blends. And when you comb it, there's still a subsection there I didn't cut. Okay, but you can see how nicely it'll flow in to the previously cut hair. You see how that is? See that? It's not even. This is longer than this is over here. It's not even at all, but it's blended. See that? Just all blends in together. When I cut the top of the head. I'm going to try to get this more wet here, so it doesn't tangle up on me and I can really demonstrate how I do the top. I would move from the side and then go over and cut the other side, and then I've got this that I can marry up this side and this side. I've got two different guides as well as my perimeter guide. You see how much longer that is than the guide? Can you see the guide in there? There goes the guide. See it in there? I don't know if the video can show you well enough. There it goes. There's the guide. So, let's go back to there, where the guide is. Mostly the guide. There's my guide. See that? If I bend this hair that I haven't cut yet over, I can see my guide. This is the angle in the front of the head. You see that? So if I held it here, I'd lose a lot of length. I need to hold it there. So make sure that you are checking your elevation angle. Right to there, I can see my guide. There it is. And then I can cut. Now, once I've got that defined, I got too many things in my hand here. Wait a minute. Here we go. It's a little too much because on the front of the head, the angle starts here, and then here it's there. So it was here, now it's there, and then it's gonna be here. So you wanna move with those. It's almost like it's about a ½ inch subsection there, maybe 3/4. I think if you go by ½ inches, you're probably gonna be good. I find my elevation angle, so it's not up here, okay, it's down there. Find my guide, there it is, it just disappeared between, there it goes, it just dropped, and I can cut. Use a little piece of that to go with this one, hold that hair up, and there's my guide. I can let it drop and cut. Now, do you have to lay your hand or lay your comb on the head every single time? No. Just remember what it feels like when you do that, or what it looks like. What is that angle from the head? Here is where I start making a little bit of a difference. I start taking angles in here. You see how that's like a little triangle? Okay, see that subsection is a triangle? I start taking triangles because I can get it done faster. 1, 2, okay. There's my angle, see?
Let me walk around.
Mm-hmm.
So she's creating little pieces of pie.
Mm-hmm. And there we go. Now here's this one. Take a little bit of my previously cut hair. There we go. And then here, with this triangle here, I'm going to marry it up. I'm going to create or turn this little block into a triangle by picking up some of the side to make sure that my top is blending into my side. And I watch my elevation angle. There I am there. And now I've got both my top guide and my side guide. So I know that this is going to be a nice blended haircut. And staying in the same position, I'm going to take a piece here from the top, pick up a little bit of this corner here from the parietal ridge. Remember, your parietal ridge is your blend point between your top and your crown and your sides. Okay? You can work in front of the head, you can work in back of the head, whichever floats your boat. I will change my position depending on what feels right. I don't think I have a rhyme or a reason to it. So, sorry about that. So I can't really tell you. Sometimes I just can't tell you why I do certain things, the way that I do them. Other than it's just what feels right. Something funny I learned the other day, and this is kind of strange. I went to see my massage therapist. So I had a prescription from my chiropractor. So see that? See my triangle there? I only took as much hair as I'm able to work with at a time. Ta-da. Okay? And now make sure that it is blending with what I previously cut, and that I cut all of it. And there it is blending with everything. I missed a hair there. So we just go in through there, like that. And you see how I lifted my hand a little bit there? You see how that doesn't quite blend, but if I go like that, it does. See how that works? And then check to make sure that my top is blending into my previously cut hair. And there we go. Right there, I need to take a little point off there. And now it all blends. Now there I can see something is not blending right. So I would pick up my shears at this point and cut that off. Unless they've already told you that that half the time has gone by and it's been a little time since they told you there are 21 minutes remaining. If you think you're running out of time, stop what you're doing, clean off your station, sweep up the floor, don't even bother to cross-check everything. Don't even bother. Because if you are not done cleaning up by the time that dinger goes off that indicates 42 minutes has passed, then you're going to lose a lot of points. Probably about 4 sanitation points and a few procedure points because you didn't have time to finish cleaning up because you're too busy cross-checking, making sure that you had a perfect haircut. They don't care about a perfect haircut. They want to know, can you get it done in a reasonable amount of time? Can you do it safely? That's all they want to know. Basic, minimum, entry-level skill. The skill that you come out on the floor with from Mr. Larry's classroom is the skill level they're looking for. And you have grown tremendously since then. So don't worry about it. Okay, you're going to be fine. Just figure out a way, whether it's the way that I demonstrated here. I hope that was plain enough. If not, we're going to get together in person. I'll go through it with you individually if I need to. Okay? I want you to be comfortable with it so that you're going to just fly through your exam. You all are accomplished hairdressers. All you needed to do is get through this exam and get that license in hand. You know what you're doing. Okay? Have confidence in that. I have confidence in that, so you should too. Because you know I'm not easy on anybody. So you can trust my opinion, all right? Thank you so much. Bye-bye.